Hey guys, this is Soul Patrol Jedi once again. I got a film y'all need to check out. It's called Garden State, starring Natalie Portman and Zach Braff. It's from 2004, and this is one of the movies you've got to see. It's an independent flick, so it's not for everybody, but anybody probably without seeing this film would write it off. But just watching it once, and it'll be one of your favorite films. And that's what happened to me. My friend started a conversation about this the other day, and I had no clue what they were talking about. So I went out and I looked it up on the internet, read about it, and I watched the movie online, and I really liked it. Like I said, this is a movie I probably would have skipped over and never heard of if it hadn't been brought up, in an off-color conversation. Like I said, it's an independent flick, and it's really, really good. Zach Braff plays Andrew Largeman, who is he's an actor and a waiter out in Los Angeles, and he has to fly back to his hometown in New Jersey, his home state of New Jersey, excuse me, and for his mother's funeral. And gradually across the spectrum of the film, he meets, his old friends from when he was a kid, and he comes across Sam, played by Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman has never been better. I liked her in the Star Wars films, because you guys know I'm a big fan of that, and anything with her in it I can watch. But she was a real treat in this film, I can tell you that. And it explores the wide spectrum of people's life, and you learn the course of everything about the characters. Why Andrew is the way he is, and Natalie, I keep doing the characters, and Sam the way she is. And like I said, he runs into all his friends from when he was younger, before he left. And like I said, I won't really give any major plot points away, but everything goes back to what happened when he was a kid and what happened to his mom, and everything comes full circle. What started it brought him back. Now the neat thing about this film is that it explores what they deem in part of the film as the infinite abyss, the unknown parts of life, the whole spectrum of living, and the unknown, and the whole future, the openness and the closedness of it at the same time. Largeman, that's what they call him. They call him Large in the film. Pretty cool nickname. He is because of what happens to his mother, which Large is responsible for partially. His father puts him on pills, mainly lithium, who then in the film they describe it as a soul depression crushing drug, because it so drains him of every emotion in his life that he doesn't feel anything. He missed a lot of things in his childhood, and you see the course of the film, his spectrum on life, the colors in the film, and everything starts out very plain. And as it goes on, he leaves. He can't take his drugs with him. He leaves them in L.A. So over the course of the 4 days that he's in his hometown, you start to see him, his personality. He goes from nothing to feeling nothing and knowing nothing to really forming relationships and forming a real connection with Sam. And you just see him come alive. And like I said, in the beginning of the film, you see it as, his room is plain. It's completely white. There's nothing in it. There's no decorations. There's no color, and it's just plain white. And as the film goes on, you see more and more colors. You see him, growing. And, mainly it's beating off the drugs, and of course because of Sam. Natalie does a fantastic job in this film. She plays an eccentric woman who's a compulsive liar. It's completely hilarious when you see how she acts, and her take on life. she actually has to wear a. I'm not making this up. She actually has to wear a helmet. She works in a lawyer's office because she has epilepsy, and it's very, very awesome to just to see her act. I'll post a couple clips on here because I liked it, just the way she does. And she says a couple things in there very profound. She says that, this is your one opportunity to do something in life that no one has ever done before and will never do again. I'll post a clip. It's very good. It's a very good quote. Like I said, you see, why she is the way she is and why Andrew is the way he is. And, of course, you got all the characters mixed in between. Andrew's father is, the one behind the root of all his problems because his father kept him medicated his entire life. So he had no, how do I say that? He had no emotions. He didn't do anything. And like I said, you see that over the course of the film, like I'll say 5,000 times, because he doesn't even know how to swim. He doesn't know how to interact with people. He doesn't even know how to cry until the end of the film. So that's something that really speaks volumes. Multitude of things. You see his friends and whatnot. His friend actually invented silent Velcro, and he bought a huge mansion, but he's bored out of his mind, so he doesn't even have anything in the house, which is completely hilarious. And then you come across Peter Sarsgaard as Mark. He actually he's a grave digger. That he actually meets him at his mother's funeral again, and he's a 20-something and lives at home with his mother. And pretty much doesn't wasn't doing anything with his life, and he has a really good quote in the film. He's a big part of the film. Afterwards, I won't ruin anything on that. He says, "Hey, don't tell me how to run my life. I don't tell you how to be an asshole." It's pretty damn funny. This film has a lot of laugh out loud moments, a lot of sad moments, a lot of crying moments. We're going to run down some of the cast. Zach Braff's in it. Natalie Portman. Ian Holm plays Gideon Largeman, his father. Peter plays Mark. Jake Hoffman's in it. Alex Burns. Ron Lieberman. And, of course, in a very good cameo role, Method Man plays Diego. If you don't know who Zach Braff is, by the way, Zach Braff plays JD on Scrubs, and I see a strong parallel between these two characters. Their emotions and screw that. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense, but I see the characters. You see parts of JD in the character when he starts to think more, when he gets off of the drugs. This is a film I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you go out and check this out. I paid $10 for a used copy, but you can probably pick it up anywhere for a few bucks. I definitely get this movie an A+. This is one of the films that you're gonna want to have in your collection. It actually won. I don't think it won Best Picture at Sundance, but it got like a nod. It got a few nods. Sorry about that. But it's a tale about, like I said, it's a tale about life and dealing with your issues, and better get a box of tissues for this film because there's points where you're gonna want to cry, or I cried during it. Near the end, there's several spots where you almost cried. Okay, I got nothing else to say about the film. Just really go out and see it. You guys have a good day.